Joe Cronin, on behalf of Miami Heat fans everywhere, we thank you. What's up, Heat Nation? Your boy Ernest here, and I am back with another Miami Heat Talk video. Hope everybody's having a beautiful day so far. Before we get started, you guys, just want to give you a reminder. Please take a moment, smash the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. I was noticing yesterday in the comments that a lot of you that were commenting on this video are not subscribed. Huge shout out to the people that have already subscribed to my channel. Thank you guys so much. It really helps me out. So we're going to get ready to rock and roll on another Miami Heat Talk video. Now, before we get to the real MVP, Joe Cronin, just a few things I want to update you guys on. So tonight, we do have another game. The Miami Heat take on the Golden State Warriors. Golden State isn't that powerhouse that they used to be, so I think the Miami Heat can definitely get the dub tonight. They don't have Draymond Green, but of course they still have that killer Steph Curry. So the Miami Heat need to come guns blazing. Now, good news, Jimmy Butler, Josh Richardson, Haywood Highsmith, they're all going to be traveling with the team. We know that these three guys didn't recently play, so for all you know, they may be playing tonight. Now, we're not 100% sure about Jimmy. This is a 5-game West Coast trip, so very common that he joins the team on the trip. But you don't know if he's going to play tonight or not. So the injury update will be coming out later. But Josh Richardson didn't practice. Jimmy Butler didn't practice yesterday. Caleb Martin didn't practice because of that ankle injury. But Haywood Highsmith did. All players traveled with the team, so that is good news. Another topic I want to get to before we get to Joe Cronin, you guys. Recently, Bam Adebayo was on an episode of the podcast that's called The OGs. It's headlined by Mike Miller and Miami Heat all-time great Udonis Hasam, UD. The show's incredible. For those of you that haven't seen it, I'm sure all Heat fans have checked that out, but you definitely want to give that a listen. So the recent episode, Bam Adebayo was a guest, and Udonis Hasam did make a comment that went viral and was being thrown nothing but shade on. It was his comment against the Boston Celtics. In the Eastern Conference Finals, Udonis Hasam was trying to get the team pumped up. He gives his pregame speeches. It was one of the games here at home from this recent Eastern Conference Finals matchup. Udonis Hasam was telling things, like F Boston, F the people, F the players. But then he made a comment about Bill Russell, one of the all-time greats. Bill Russell passed in July of 2022. When he passed, the NBA retired his number for every team in the NBA. Retired his jersey, excuse me. So Udonis Hasam tells the team, F Bill Russell. You'll never see a Miami Heat jersey hung up on a Boston Celtic rafter, so F that man. And of course, these people were looking at Haslam like he's crazy. Why would he be saying that? And Haslam caught a lot of flack. A lot of people were saying, Michael Jordan's jersey's hung up at the rafters and you're complaining about Bill Russell. Or how could you speak ill of the dead? We live in an era where it's cancel culture. All anybody wants to do is just cancel people, throw shade. I understand what Udonis Hasam was doing. For those of you that don't get it, let me paint a pretty picture. Udonis Hasam was just pumping up his team. He said what he said in the heat of the moment. As we all know as human beings, we put our foot in our mouth sometimes. It is what it is. He didn't mean to speak ill of the dead. He repented after. He apologized after. What I say, get over it, people. It's just a comment. It's just words. Words mean nothing. They're just useless stuff that come out of our face. Honestly, for people to get upset about a person that you don't know that made a comment about somebody you don't know, it is what it is. Get over it. You can't fix human nature. You can't fix human error. It is what it is. I hope people are not going to take this serious. I hope people are not going to come at me about this. I don't think it was a big deal. I do believe that it's not right to speak ill of the dead, but I understand what Udonis Hasam was doing. He was trying to motivate his players in his own way. The dude comes from the hood in Miami. It's just the way people are down here. We don't care. We speak our minds. And a lot of times there's no filter between our brain and our mouth. So sometimes craps comes out that shouldn't be coming out. So I understand what Udonis Hasam did. I understand what he was trying to do. And I just hope that this doesn't become a huge backlash for him because he's a great dude. Okay, moving on. So this video, you guys, I want to talk about the real MVP for the Miami Heat, Joe Cronin. And the reason why I'm making this video is because a lot of you in the comments yesterday were talking about how this aged well and how comments of people in the offseason about Tyler Herro and Duncan Robinson aged well. And for those of you that don't understand what I'm trying to say, let me go ahead and recap. Back in the offseason, I was pretty much cutting videos almost every day about Damian Lillard. We were on what I was calling Damian Lillard Watch. Now, for those of you that remember, it lasted about 2.5 months. The Miami Heat were not going back and forth, but they were basically playing the waiting game because there were no other offers from Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard requested to go specifically to the Miami Heat. That was it. He didn't give up any other teams. He didn't want to go anywhere else. Per his camp and his agent, Aaron Fentress, it was Miami Heat or nothing. If Damian Lillard was traded to another team, he would have requested out of that team for Miami. Got it? Good. Okay. After that, when Damian Lillard told Joe Cronin and the Blazers staff that I only want to go to the Miami Heat, he killed that opportunity. Because what happened with Portland was they became uber petty. They didn't want to send him to the Heat. Because what Damian Lillard did by requesting to go specifically to the Heat, he devalued himself. So now when the Blazers are trying to talk to other teams to get a good offer, they're not going to get it. Because this guy basically said, if you trade me there, I'm going to request out. Why would another team trade for Damian Lillard and give up all their assets if they're getting somebody who doesn't want to be there? That was the moral of the entire conversation that we were having in the offseason. That's basically what I was stating all offseason, is that the Heat were in the driver's seat because he didn't want to go anywhere else. What eventually happened was that Damian Lillard was not standing firm on his stance, like James Harden. James Harden wanted to get the hell out of Philly. It took time, but he got out and went where he wanted. Damian Lillard did not do the same thing. When time was going on, and when he was basically told from the Blazers that he would not be sent to the Heat, he changed his stance. He said, fine, if you don't want to send me there, then I'm open to going to Brooklyn and Milwaukee. That's why he was traded to Milwaukee, because Damian Lillard was not standing strong on what he firmly wanted. Now, Damian Lillard's having a good season with the Bucks. They're second seed in the Eastern Conference. They're a favorite, so it's not bad on him. I'm not going to knock Damian Lillard. He was in the Portland organization for 11 years. He wanted to do things the right way, and in his perspective, he did, so he can sleep at night. My shade is not towards Damian Lillard at all. Papito, you do what you got to do to make yourself happy. I totally understand that. Where this shade is going is to the Portland Trail Blazers front staff. Because an original offer was made to Portland, Tyler Herro, Duncan Robinson, multiple first-round draft picks. That was the original offer. However, it was reported by a lot of people in the Miami Heat organization that Pat Riley was willing to give up more for Damian Lillard. The problem was Joe Cronin was not willing to speak to Pat Riley. Joe Cronin was uber petty. He was pissed off because of what Damian Lillard did by requesting to go specifically to the Heat. So he did not want to talk to the Heat. That's the basic point. So a lot of people were throwing shade on Pat Riley. A lot of people were saying Pat Riley can't get trades done. That was never the case. You can't get a trade done if the other party does not want to talk to you. It's impossible. Pat Riley made attempts. Joe Cronin wouldn't speak to him. It was just a case of pettiness. Joe Cronin was mad at Damian Lillard for saying that he wanted to go specifically to the Heat and devalued himself. Well, at the end of the day, it wasn't really that much of a devalue, because even though the initial trade to Milwaukee didn't seem like a great amount, they ended up getting multiple first-round draft picks and pick swaps. They got Drew Holiday. They got DeAndre Ayton. Now, a lot of people were saying in my comments, oh, well, the Portland Trail Blazers scored big because they got Ayton. Remember, the Miami Heat were orchestrating a 3-to-4 team trade with teams like Phoenix, Orlando, San Antonio, and Brooklyn. And Indiana, excuse me. These were 5 different teams. And I think I said Orlando. I'm sorry if I didn't. But anyways, 5 to 6 different teams that were willing to include themselves as a part of a 3-4 trade package. I've mentioned this so much in my off-season videos, guys. Go back if you want to get more details on that. But basically, the quick recap: Miami Heat was going to get Portland everything they wanted. They were going to get them 4 to 5 first-round draft picks. They were going to send Tyler Herro to another team to get maybe even more draft picks. They were going to get them DeAndre Ayton from Phoenix. Miami and Phoenix already had conversations. Caleb Martin was going to go to Phoenix. Tyler Herro was going to go to the 4th team, and then the Heat were going to get back more draft picks to give to Portland. And along with that, Portland was going to get Duncan Robinson, Jaime Jaquez Jr., and Nikola Jokic. Possibly even Kyle Lowry was going to be in the mix. So the Heat were going to have to give out Tyler Herro, Duncan Robinson, Caleb Martin, Kyle Lowry, Jaime Jaquez Jr., and Nikola Jokic. That's 6 players you're giving up for one. So, why am I saying thank you to Joe Cronin? It's not because I never wanted Damian Lillard or I'm happy because we didn't get Damian Lillard. I'm happy because he's so stupid by not taking a phone call from the Miami Heat. And the fact that this trade didn't happen and all of the people were throwing shade on the Miami Heat, saying that Pat Riley can't get stuff done, saying that Tyler Herro, Duncan Robinson are not assets, saying the Heat don't have any flexibility with their team. Ladies and gentlemen, all that crap aged well because the Miami Heat are sitting with a 4th seed with an 18-12 record and without a 100% healthy roster ever in this season. We are stepping it up and taking it to the best teams in the NBA. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what shade you want to throw. This Miami Heat roster is better than what we had last season. And ladies and gentlemen, last season, we were an 8th seed that went to the NBA Finals. So can nobody say that this Miami Heat team does not have it? Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Tyler Herro, Duncan Robinson, Jaime Jaquez Jr., Kevin Love, Caleb Martin, Kyle Lowry. Oh my God. Oh my God, you guys. These guys play so great together. They're one of the best teams in the NBA, headed by the best coach in the NBA, dominated by the best playoff performer in Jimmy Butler, the best two-way player in Bam Adebayo, one of the best scorers in Tyler Herro, and a diamond. A diamond, ladies and gentlemen, by the name of Jaime Jaquez Jr. Joe Cronin must be kicking himself in the ass, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I will give the Blazers credit. They ended up sending Drew Holiday to the Boston Celtics and got more draft picks. They ended up getting 5 future first-round draft picks. They got DeAndre Ayton, who they could have gotten from Miami with a 4-team trade. So I'm not even going to include DeAndre Ayton in this conversation, you guys, because they could have gotten it with the Miami deal as well. But let's look at the other players that they got. Robert Williams, done for the year. That's not his fault. That's not a knock on the Blazers. Crap happens. You got Malcolm Brogdon. Malcolm Brogdon is having a fine season. 15 points a game. Scoot Henderson, who's their future, isn't really doing it. He's played 20 games. He started 5, averaging 11 points a game. He's going to be a project. You can't tell me that Malcolm Brogdon and Robert Williams were better options for Portland than Jaime Jaquez Jr., Duncan Robinson, and Tyler Herro. All offseason, people were telling me there's no way the Blazers want Tyler Herro. Tyler Herro isn't as good as what they have. Anthony Simons is really good. Shaedon Sharpe is really good. Scoot Henderson is fine. But I'm sorry, Tyler Herro's better. You can make a case for Anthony Simons. Anthony Simons is having a really good season with the 11 games he's played. Tyler and Anthony are having very similar seasons. I will give them credit for that. But to tell me that Tyler Herro could not have been an option for Portland, I don't know what those people are smoking. Tyler Herro is having an incredible season. He's averaging 24 points a game, 5.5 rebounds, 4.5 assists, 1.5 steals, ladies and gentlemen. For people that say that he cannot play defense, he's averaging 1.5 steals. Just want to throw that out there. Duncan Robinson is averaging 15 points a game. Jaime Jaquez is averaging almost 14 points a game. Ladies and gentlemen, Portland Trail Blazers, you made a mistake. By saying Tyler Herro, Duncan Robinson, and Jaime Jaquez are not assets, that crap aged well. So Miami Heat fans, I want to ask you. I know I asked this shortly yesterday, but I made a whole video today, so I want to ask you guys. Are you happy with the fact that we did not trade for Damian Lillard? And a lot of people in my comments yesterday, I remember there was a lot of you true Heat fans this offseason. Even when we were doing the Damian Lillard watch, a lot of you were saying, I don't want to trade for Damian Lillard. We're going to have to give up too much for a guy that's turning 34. Keep this team as is. And I see y'all in my comments that do stuff like that. I'm not saying that all of you didn't want to, or all of you wanted to make this trade. There's a lot of Heat fans that stood on their grounds and said that what we had was enough. Even me. I was saying to trade for Damian Lillard. You trade for somebody like that. He's one of the best 75 players in history. But from what it's turning out, you guys, and I'm not saying that the Heat are lucky by not trading for Damian Lillard. If the Heat traded for Damian Lillard with Jimmy, Bam, and Dame, Eric Spoelstra would have figured it out. But as you're seeing, Dame's missing games, Jimmy's missing games, Bam's missing games. It possibly could have been similar to what's happening in Phoenix. The Heat could not have had as a good record as we have now. It's because we would have had to give up 5 to 6 players to get Damian Lillard. So now you have to fill that roster with minimum contracts. Now were the Heat able to get guys like Kelly Oubre, Christian Wood, Cameron Payne when we signed Damian Lillard? That's a possibility as well. Remember, like I said, if the Heat traded for Damian Lillard, look for a lot of players to go there for the minimum to win a championship. So it's all hindsight, you guys. Hindsight is 20/20. For Miami Heat, of course, the hindsight is perfect. The fact that we didn't give up all the assets for Damian Lillard. But regardless, you guys, whether we made the trade or not, I still think it would have been beneficial for us. I'm just happy we didn't make the trade because we kept 3 guys that are not only helping us now, but that can also help us in the future. Hell, even more. We don't know what's going to happen with Caleb Martin. I know that. But Haywood Highsmith is an amazing piece for this team. Haywood Highsmith, you guys, next season can become a really good addition to this team because it's possible Caleb Martin may not be here. So I'm liking the fact that we kept all our assets, you guys, because not only are we a contender right now, but look at our future. Our future is going to be headlined by Bam Adebayo, Tyler Herro, and Jimmy Butler Jr. and Jaime Jaquez Jr. I'm liking what we have. I'm liking what we're going to have in the future. So yes, I think it was very smart that we didn't trade for Damian Lillard simply because of the fact that not only are we a contender now, but we're also going to be a contender for the future. Thank you, Pat Riley. Thank you, Andy Ellsberg. But most importantly, thank you, Joe Cronin. Heat fans, I speak for the Heat Nation when we say we appreciate you, Joe Cronin. You took care of the Miami Heat squad when we didn't know you were truly doing it. So I want to hear from you guys. How happy are you that we didn't trade for Damian Lillard? Or do you feel maybe that not trading for Damian Lillard was a mistake? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Also, let me know what you think about this whole Udonis Hasam, Bill Russell thing. Do you think it's a big deal like the internet's making? Or do you think, like me, it's just words, doesn't mean anything? And who do you guys got tonight for the Heat and Warriors? Let me know your scores on the comments. Thank you guys so much for the love and support. Until next time, your boy Ernest out. That's enough said. Let's go Heat.